Unity in worship. And this is not about the style of music that we prefer for worship, which also, by the way, is a big challenge for our unity.
And this week we are studying to understand what's the meaning of worship. Additionally, we want to know how does worship empowers unity. So let's dive in.
This topic can be a mess for discussions because we all have different views and understandings about worship. For me, for example, the word brings too much archaic and heavy religious notions. Just check the dictionaries and you'll see how the accent is on rituals and ceremonies celebrating a deity. And my God is much more than ceremonies and rituals. It's not about his ego or pride. It's much bigger than that.
What is true worship? This is the kind of thoughts that the lesson starts with. And it is important that we find a good, solid answer to this question because we do worship till the end of our lives. If we do, by my opinion, if we do not figure out my relationship with God until I can explore and experiment, make mistakes and raise up back again, most likely in the hours of my last breath, I will not be able to comprehend God and how to relate to Him. We either see our God as creator and redeemer of our miserable situation here in this life, or we go through life with bitterness and never-ending whining and unsatisfaction. And if He is our creator and redeemer, then He deserves all the adoration and the praise. It's nothing else but the response of our faith to who He is and what He has done for me. And this, for me, is true worship.
We do have in the Bible these passages describing how God is worshipped. And we do have these exaltations praising Him. But what this is in its core, it's a deep recognition, gratitude, and respect that we give to God because of what He is doing for us. Everything that I am, I owe it to Him. My hope, my happiness, my present, and my future, it's all because of His love, His sacrifice for me, His covering for me, His grace, His power, and His victory. My worship is a recognition of all that. And I give Him glory by acknowledging and by testifying about His work for me.
Unity is broken easily when we worship differently. And it's not about how we worship, but who do we worship? We often argue about this teaching or that teaching, this doctrine or that doctrine, but deep down, we examine ourselves and we can find that our motives drives us toward one or another God. The Bible has clearly stated that what are the ways of false worshiping, as is the case with Daniel and his friends standing in front of the marvelous statue made by the king of Persia. Worship is nothing else but a choice of how we will live our lives. Those who follow Christ know what is grace and what is forgiveness, but they also know what is repentance and humility. And we either live through life with a strong ego that has never been surrendered to God, or we're just inspired to do what Christ instructed His followers.
Worship is the expression of our entire being to the work of God in us. When we shift the focus from that, when we make it about the how to worship, or we start recognizing certain merits of something or someone, it's a false worship. It's serious because it shifts us away from our dependence and unity with our Creator and Redeemer and drags us back there where all our troubles began, breaking the tie and relationship with God.
And furthermore, the lesson makes it a clear point that we as Adventists carry a message that is addressed to the end of time generation. The book of Revelation chapter 14 speaks of a final conflict that is provoked by who do you choose to worship. Worship is the central issue there. And the outcome is two groups, two ways of worship, two choices that we can make. So knowing our material and our relation to God is very crucial. I can see that division and disunity will exist. However, it should be only between those two groups who worship two different gods. Within the community of Christ, there should be one spirit and unity in worship.
God is being pushed out of our societies more and more. It's much more politically correct to show respect for any other religious figure or philosophy, but God, who gave His everything for us, is not so welcome anymore. Even some of those who pretend to be His disciples put their focus and energy on everything else, like the Pope, controversial doctrines, practices, and ceremonies, but not on God, to whom we owe everything. Yes, the first angel's message is important, and it's all about that.
Following the example of the early church, we worship when we get together by studying the Bible and do fellowship. And the practice of studying the scriptures at gatherings in church, for me personally, has been a strong force to become and remain a Christ follower. I had found it to be a place so appropriate to ask questions and to express feelings of doubts and feelings of insecurity. And because always there have been other truth seekers, my journey has been smoother. Sharing meals, sharing adventures, unquestionably I felt I belonged to a community. This common experience in our walk of faith brings us together in one worship and creates unity that we're really ready to fight for, to preserve it, because it's much more precious than anything that the world is ready to offer out there.
We worship not only during church service, but when we interact with each other, when we work, when we are with our families, when we take a stand. Our worship is an expression of what is already being done for us. And yes, it's a journey, it's a growing experience. It's learning about God more and more. It's opening for God more and more. This fosters unity. What do you think about church organization? Well, join us next week for the topic Church Organization and Unity.